Imagine dedicating your entire life to a single relentless goal,
Yeah.
like becoming a world champion.
Right, and you finally get that trophy.
Exactly. You step off the podium and you realize it almost broke you. Welcome to the deep dive. We have a very specific mission for you today.
Yeah, we are looking at some deeply personal notes from a former Formula One world champion who is actually now an investor over at Rosberg Ventures.
Right. And it's all about rewiring your mindset for, sustainable success. Because the core idea here is that tying your self-worth entirely to winning is actually a dangerous trap. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, we really have to diagnose the problem first, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
The author lays out his past reality with this, brutal honesty. He basically says, if I won a race, I was somebody. And if I lost one, I was nobody.
Wow, I mean, that is pure results-based self-worth right there.
Yeah.
It really reminds me of running a car engine on pure nitrous oxide.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. Because it's undeniable rocket fuel for founders and leaders and athletes. I mean, it propels you past the competition in an absolute flash.
But it burns way too hot.
Exactly. Eventually, it just completely blows out the engine.
What's fascinating here is why so many top-tier leaders share this exact fragile wiring. I mean, early in our careers, society rewards the outcome, right? Not the process.
Yeah, you get the gold star for getting the A, not for studying.
Exactly. And that nitrous injection of external validation triggers a massive dopamine hit. So we start to believe we literally are the machine.
And when the machine stalls, our core identity just collapses.
Right. So if that rocket fuel is so volatile, we have to figure out how to fix the engine.
And the notes suggest it starts internally with your identity.
Mm-hmm.
But, I have to push back here a little bit.
Go for it.
Is it really possible to just, turn off that primal competitive drive? I mean, you don't make it to F1 or build a massive company without being at least slightly obsessed with winning.
Well, you aren't turning off the drive at all. You are just rewiring how that drive interacts with your ego and your stress response.
Oh, okay. How so?
The author highlights this really crucial semantic shift. It's moving from saying, I am a loser, to just saying, I lost the race.
Wait, just changing the phrasing. I mean, that sounds almost too simple for someone operating at a world-class level.
It sounds simple, but the psychology behind it is massive. When you internalize failure and say, I am a loser, your brain perceives a literal threat to your survival.
Wow.
Yeah, it floods your system with cortisol. You become defensive, reactive, highly risk-averse. But when you say, I lost the race, you are merely acknowledging an event.
So you completely decouple your identity from the outcome. Like a bad quarter or a lost deal is just an event. It isn't who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're shifting from that highly volatile combustible fuel to a stable, renewable energy source.
But taking away the podium leaves a massive void, right? If you aren't measuring success by the trophy anymore, how do you even know you're heading in the right direction?
Well, that requires a completely new scoreboard. The author actually had to start tracking compounding value rather than just fleeting wins.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because he gives a great example in his notes, right?
Yeah, he says he now logs having a meaningful lunch with two people he admires as a win. And he also tracks the founders he mentors along the way.
Right, because those new metrics, networking, mentoring, learning, they structurally compound over years. A trophy is just a static object that sits on a shelf collecting dust.
Which brings us to the core realization of these notes. Winning is a moment, but building is a life.
I love that.
You have to ask yourself, what am I building instead of am I winning? And the ultimate irony the author discovered is that when he stopped obsessing over the trophies and just engaged with the daily work of building, his actual results improved.
Because decoupling identity from the outcome naturally lowers that cortisol you mentioned.
Exactly, which leads to better decision-making, higher creativity, and a much higher tolerance for calculated risk in business.
So what does this all mean? If someone listening right now, if you are staring down a terrible quarter or a collapsed deal, the takeaway is to intentionally transition your self-worth.
Right, move away from that fragile, nitrous-fueled winning mentality.
And embrace a sustainable, compounding building mentality.
Because the business outcomes you are chasing will just become a natural byproduct of the system you build.
Absolutely. Which leaves me with this thought for you to take away. If building relies on continuous learning rather than instantaneous winning, could actively tracking your failures, you treating those lost deals and bad quarters purely as raw construction materials, could that actually be the fastest way to build your masterpiece?